I am kaRA. As you know, I am a Pleiadian emissary. I meet often with various councils, work with the Earth, work with Gaia, and work also with the Earth Council. And yes, indeed, there is an Earth Council made up of various members throughout your world. Of course, those names cannot be given at this point. But know that your various governments throughout the land are very much aware that you are not alone in the universe. They're very much aware of us, our presence, and know that we have millions of cloaked ships all around the planet. They are aware of the presence or the arrival, I might say, of that which you call 3I Atlas. Yes, it is approaching, just as you're hearing from your scientific community. And it is a herald to what is to come following this. Of course, as things continue to progress, as various changes continue to occur throughout your world, throughout the governments, those changes are all catalysts for the great awakening that is occurring. There are many different facets of this awakening, as most of you know now, or you're beginning to understand and perceive. But you also must know that a shift, a great shift, is in process right now. A shift that has been heralded for many thousands of years here on your planet. And the times are approaching where everything is about to go what you might call topsy-turvy. However you have known things before will not be the way they will be in the times ahead. I've heard that your entire third-dimensional illusion must come crashing down. But if it came crashing down all at once, what would that be like throughout your world? Many would not be able to handle this abrupt change, abrupt shift. But because there is this shift and a change in consciousness, that is what is bringing this about. It's all about vibration and consciousness. So as the frequency continues to increase throughout the planet, consciousness also increases. And that which is the approaching ship, I can now call it, because you are all beginning to awaken to that idea, that understanding, that it is certainly not a comet. It has been disguised as that earlier, but that disguise is no longer needed, because people throughout your planet are going to be able to witness the great spectacle it will bring. Spectacle that will be seen by many across the planet. But understand that it will not be an overnight sensation. That cannot happen. But it is a trigger, you might say, for various other events to occur. A series of events, if you will, is and are in progress right now. The great universal plan is in motion. And as you have heard many, many times in various ways from many sources, that plan cannot be stopped. And it is progressing exactly as it needs to. And as this ship comes closer and closer to the Earth, it does indeed bring behind it more of that spectacle to be shown. And it is also bringing an energy that will catapult the Earth, catapult your societies across the planet to begin to awaken to that higher consciousness that many are calling the Christ consciousness. That is indeed descending on the Earth once again. And that Christ consciousness, as it descends upon the Earth, will awaken a great many more into their own ascension process as well. So be ready, my brothers and sisters. Be ready for this great shift of consciousness. Be ready for this great spectacle that will be seen across the entire planet. I cannot give a time frame on that, but you know it is near, very near now at this point. So be ready for it. And when those people across the planet, those who are the unawakened at this point, but that become the awakened, that is where they will reach out to all of you and look for guidance. That is the mission that you came here for. All of you need to be ready for this now. For as I say, and many others are saying, this shift in consciousness is also going to bring a great shift in your world as far as your culture, your society, and the way you move about your lives from those moments forward. I am kaRA, and I leave you now in peace and love and oneness, and look forward to the days, times ahead, where I can meet personally with many of you. Those times are not as far off as you might think. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om. Greetings to you. One who serves here. Shoshana is here, and we are ready to assist you in your questions if you have them. Would there be questions here?
Okay, I have one.
Yes, yes.
So I was with two other people and just sitting there, and we've all noticed a dimming of the light all of a sudden. I think it was last Thursday. But it was like outside, and we all kind of looked at each other, and then and that was it. We asked other people, nobody else was aware of it. I looked it up, and apparently there were solar flares at the time, that afternoon. And I just wondered what that dimming would have to do with a solar flare, and I guess why others didn't notice it also, if they're, I guess, not in the same vibration or something.
We need to ask a question here. What do you mean by dimming of the light? Are you speaking at nighttime, daytime here?
No, sorry, it was bright afternoon, and we were all sitting inside, but it wasn't, we didn't actually have lights on inside. So it was like outside, it kind of like when your light, when an actual, light bulb just will dim all of a sudden if there's a power surge. But again, it was outside, and I'd heard that or read that there were solar flares at the time. And I just thought it was interesting. It was sort of the opposite visual effect that we got.
And you are saying that some of you witnessed this, felt this, but others did not. Is that correct?
That's right. The three of us that were in close proximity in the house all noticed it. And we asked other people that we knew, about 8 or 10 people, and nobody else had seen it or noticed it.
And you are wondering if there is a connection between those of the solar flares and what you witnessed. Is this correct?
Yes, but also, what was it? Why was it dim if there was a flare? I would think it would be brighter. And so is there a meaning for the dimming as well? Two-part
We would say here, there is not a direct correlation to that of solar flares here. But understand that there is a connection to atmospheric conditions at that time that created this, what you are calling dimming of the light, that only certain ones of you could perceive, others not so much. So you must understand that there is a continuing awakening process that is occurring, so that you yourself and others such as yourself would be aware of various occurrences happening where others would not. It is very similar to those that can look up into the sky at night and see the various ships shooting across the sky, where others would look and not see anything or think, oh, that is a satellite or something of this nature. So it is all about perception at this point. And we will say here even a thinning of the veil or removal of the veil more and more here. The veil between that which is and that which isn't. I need you to contemplate on that. But perhaps Shoshana can give more if she wishes.
Well, we wish to ask a question of this one, dear sister. May we ask?
Yes, certainly.
Was there a conversation going on at this time?
That's a good question. I don't remember that we were talking about anything specifically at that time. There was sort of generalized, conversation, I suppose. Mundane stuff going on. I was working with this senior woman, and her daughter was there visiting, so I don't think at the time we were actually chatting. We were playing a game. Two of us were playing a game. The other was working in the kitchen off beside us.
Well, then, we don't have a clue. The idea of light dimming would be a confirmation of something. So if you would look at what was occurring in your environment, that was a confirmation of something.
Oh, I see.
So perhaps you know what that is.
Well, the only thing that comes to mind is that we're all probably in a pretty positive state of mind.
Well, we would just say that noticing a phenomenon like that would be a confirmation of something within your thought process, within a conversation, within an action being taken, etc. It's just when, for example, when one sees 1111 or one sees another string of numbers that confirms what they're thinking. That is what the dimming was a confirmation. So perhaps you could think on that as well. Namaste.
Okay, thank you. Namaste. Thank you all.
Very good. Are there any further questions here?
Yes, I have a question. Hello, beautiful ones. So I have two questions, but I'll go with one first. So I've been thinking about this thing that you guys have told us many times over, that when we ascend, there will be like little fuss, like the population, I think you're saying, is not going to really notice or take much note of it. And my mind is trying to figure out how that's possible. So I wanted a little clarity on that. I mean, I go to places where I don't really like the thought of like us being replaced by some fake one of us ourselves, or maybe there could be, maybe, and this is okay, there could be some kind of memory shifting in the collective. I'm just curious how it is that they're not going to notice this whole bunch of us leave.
First of all, where did you get the idea that the people would not notice?
Well, I think you guys had been saying something to that effect, although maybe I misunderstood what you meant by that it wouldn't be much of a big deal or something like that to them.
We will tell you that in an ascension process, you would in a sense, yes, disappear to those that are in a lower vibrational frequency. And would they, your question though seems to be, would they forget you? Would they forget that you were there? And the answer to that is no, they would not. Now, there is also a disconnect though between those who are in the waves of ascension and those that are not. And those that are not will be completely removed from the situation. So they will not be remembered by those that move up in ascension. Okay? So it is very difficult to explain this, though, because it has never happened before in terms of an entire planet and the population of that planet going through a mass ascension process. And to explain exactly how it will be and how it will all work out and how everyone will witness this is impossible at this point to be able to share here, because we do not know ourselves at this point. But just know that it will be completely painless for you and those that are in the process as well for them. And when we say painless, we do not mean in terms of physical pain. We are talking about emotional also. Okay? So Shauna, do you have something to add here?
Well, we find that we don't have another perspective, but we would ask perhaps for a clarification of this question, dear sister. We find that we are not certain what you are looking for.
Okay, so let me drill it down. So I'm going to drill it down to what I'm looking to find. Like, I'm trying to find out how my loved ones will assimilate, especially my children, will assimilate me just suddenly being gone, and how that's going to work, because I would think that it might be rather difficult for them, So if it's not going to be difficult, why is it not going to be difficult?
Oh, have you heard of the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
And what is that? What happens when one remembers something one way and one remembers something another way?
Well, I think it's the memory. I think it's the shifting of the memory in the collective.
And it is a timeline split. One section is going off on one timeline, and one section is going off on another timeline. So they are remembering things differently. What you must understand is that your children will remember you, but without a sense of loss. That is what the ascension brings. That is the vibration and the frequency that ascension leaves behind, they will remember you fondly, they will think of you, but they will not feel pain. As one who serves has given, they will not feel loss. And
they won't wonder what happened to me? Will they wonder what happened to me? I mean,
well, they will. Well, it is very difficult to explain. It is not about wondering what will happen. They know that you are gone, but it is as if when a human being passes on, where do they go?
well, they go back to their original state, to their higher self, to the joining with their higher selves, you know. Yes?
Yes, yes, yes. And is that painful for the one that leaves?
No, I mean it is, yes, and of course it is. It's not painful for the one that leaves, it's for the ones left behind. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, and what if the vibration that is offered or left behind through an ascension process is one that eradicates the pain of loss, that it simply is, you see. That happened. Okay. She is gone. We remember her fondly, and we do not hurt over it. We know that life is forever, that we live forever. So that idea is left behind. So wondering is, when one wonders what happened, it is because they do not understand what eternal life is. It is complicated.
Can I just drill it down a little more, because I'm thinking of a specific thing.
Yes?
My daughter, I said, I had intimated to her at one point, I don't know, maybe several months ago, that, you know, if I was to not be around anymore, she should not worry that I was moving up in consciousness. So I have that particular experience of my daughter that I could share that with her, but she was like, well, you know, if you just disappear, I am going to look for you. You know, I am going to scour the planet or something to that effect. So how is it going to shift from what she's saying now to when it actually happens that that's not the experience of it? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, the first thing is that she is not on the same plane of understanding that you are. So if you tell her, I may be gone, I may be moving to higher consciousness, she cannot contemplate that. She does not understand that. She does not assimilate that idea in the present moment, in her present consciousness. She in many ways does not believe you. So she would go to her third dimensional idea of looking for you. But if you rose in higher consciousness and left a frequency behind that would help her assimilate your not being there, she would not look, you see. You would have the power to leave that behind with her. So she would not look. Okay. You see. We hope that makes sense. It is a complicated matter, and as one who serves as given, this has not occurred yet. But when it occurs, you must understand that those left behind will not suffer. They will not wonder. They will not suffer. They will not be concerned. They will remember you fondly and accept it, you see.
Okay.
But at this time when you introduce such an idea, they are still thinking in third dimensional ways.
Okay. And so we're going to leave some kind of a frequency behind that little system. That's wonderful. And thank you. It really clears it up, because I've been really concerned about, so just, you also brought up the Mandela thing. So isn't the Mandela thing, though, that there's, and I want to ask this because I said it in a video, I hope I wasn't wrong, isn't the Mandela thing that there's a sort of a new memory given to some people? Isn't that correct?
It is not a new memory. It is a different memory. You see.
Okay.
They experienced something different than you, and it is not introduced into consciousness as something that is not true. It is simply that they have experienced it in a different way on a different timeline, so it is different for them, you see.
So you're not doing something in the dream state that would shift their memory.
No, you are not.
Wow, that's very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to update that. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Namaste, dear Susan.
And we will add one more thing here, that when you have passed through the ascension yourselves, you will be able to make contact with those that are left behind when you are ready to do so. So it is not the same as the veil separating life and death. It will not be the same as that. Now, that can possibly not occur, as we are saying here, but likely as things are looking at this point, that is the way it will be able to be. You will be able to make some sort of contact with those that are left, because you are assisting them in following after you. You understand this?
Yes, thank you. That's great.
Would there be any other questions here? Nothing further?
Well, wait a minute. If nobody's going to ask it, then I'll double dip if that's okay. Anybody else? Okay, can I ask another?
Yes, as long as it is not a personal question, make it that it is for the whole, for the collective.
Okay, okay. So, all right. So, talking about the different chakras that we have. When I way back when, before I even found the group, how I found the group was I did Diane Cooper's Activate Your 12 Chakras, and at that point I learned about basically all the chakras you're talking about, including, and I was working with them because I'd already learned about it before you guys really started, because I figured that was given to me to work with. So pretty much all of them have come on board except the causal, which I have an understanding to not mess with that until you guys are ready to go with it. But most of those you've brought on board, like you brought on board the Earth Star, you brought on board the Soul Star, you brought on board the High Heart. The one that you haven't brought on board, which I don't know if it's even coming on board, or maybe I should just let it go, or we should just not worry about it, was the navel. So they're like the sacral, according to that meditation, splits into two, navel and sacral, and one is like a hot pink and the other is an orange. And what is up with that? And is there anything is that gonna come on board, or is that something we should just sort of let go and just go with the orange sacral?
First of all, we would say there are 3 more that are, as you say, not on board yet. We have assisted you in activating 2 other chakras, those 2 that you mentioned, and there are 3 more. To understand, though, from a point of view from various things that you read or hear about, you must understand that there are many different possibilities that can be discussed about this type of topic. Many different ideas, many different personal opinions. Interpretations, yes, that are by the one that is bringing this forward to you, you see. Mm-hmm. So not be too immersed in what one person says, or even more than one say about various things, because there are many different, as Shoshana gave here, interpretations to consider here. No one is right over another, you see. It just is. So we are doing what we are doing with this group to assist you in the way that this group can handle what we are bringing forward here. Now, there will be an activation that is coming here. We cannot say when or how at this point, but we are working toward that to perhaps bring one more on board, as you are saying. Okay? Shoshana, do you have something Go ahead.
Well, we can just add a little more if we may, dear sister.
Yes, please.
What is essential for all is to align the chakra system and balance them. That is what is essential. Whatever chakras you have that are awake, are revolving, that you are aware of, you must align them along the spine, and you must activate them through visualization of their color, and you must understand their function in your life and how to optimize that function, you see. So that is what is most important, not so much which ones are active, but which ones you are working with to align, you see. Does that help?
It does. I think that the point of the navel sacral, I believe, is the male-female, and it separates out like the female being the hot pink and the navel being the orange. So is that a way to think of that, or should I not think of that? Should I just go with the orange?
If you wish, if that resonates for you.
Mm-hmm.
If that seems like an appropriate interpretation for you on your path at this time, of course. Mm-hmm. Some will think of it that way, some will not, you see. So it is up to you on your path how you interpret and how you see your own chakra system assisting you and developing you into a higher ascended being, you see. That is how this works.
Okay. I appreciate it. I mean, it's just like was coming up with me. Am I doing this right? You know, I know it's so stupid, you know, but that's my human self. Am I doing this right? Everybody else is just going orange. Should I just throw away the pink and just go orange, you know? But I appreciate that. It's all individualized.
Well, and we also believe that you are resonating toward both colors. And that is why you were asking.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Go with what you resonate with. That is what we would suggest always. It is not about determining right or wrong. It is determining what your heart is telling you.
And let me just, go ahead.
Yes.
And I was just going to check in, though, what I'm bringing to the public, say in my videos, if I do chakra stuff, I should not put that in. I should just, yes or no? I should just, like, stick with what you guys do.
You must quantify it as your personal choice.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Awesome.
Yes. No. Namaste, dear sister.
And we would suggest to you to, in your videos, as you are saying, to let people know that it is different from many different sources. There is not only one right source. There is no right or wrong here. There just is. Okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Would there be any further questions here before we release channel?
I'll ask another if nobody else has one. This is more of a general or specific,
yes,
I should say. What can you tell us what the Three-Eye Atlas has to do with the pillars that were planted here or that are supposed to be activated at some point?
The pillars, please define what you are saying about this.
I think that's the right term. I can't remember. They were all over the world. They sort of obelisk.
Obelisk?
Yeah.
The obelisk?
Yes.
Yes. That is different than pillars, but yes. We will say here that there likely is a connection, but cannot be given at this point. When the time comes, there will be activation. That is all we can say on this now.
Okay, thank you.
Shoshana, do you have anything?
We do not. We do not.
Very good. Then we are ready to release channel. Shoshana, can you have parting message here?
We do not.
Very good. Then we would say to all of you to prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves for that shift in consciousness that is approaching. And it will bring about an awakening across the planet that you have only begun to dream about at this point. We cannot say too much more, but just prepare yourselves. It is coming. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one.